One Jeep Wrangler year had under 10 total complaints, while others had over 200. Yet most buyers still choose the wrong one and pay for it later. If you don't know this, you're gambling thousands on your next Wrangler. These are the 7 Jeep Wrangler years I'd personally buy and never sell. Best. Number 7. 2004 Jeep Wrangler. Everybody shopping for a used Wrangler heads straight for the JK and JL lots, and they walk right past the TJ section without even looking. That one habit is costing people a chance at one of the most reliable Wranglers Jeep ever put together. The 2004 is proof of that. Under the hood sits the 4.0-liter inline 6, and if you know anything about Jeep engines, you already know why that matters. This is the engine that mechanics talk about when they say they do not build them like they used to. No variable valve timing, no turbochargers, no layers of electronics waiting to throw a code and leave you stranded on the side of a trail. Just a cast iron block with simple fuel injection that fires up every single morning and refuses to quit. Owners have pushed these engines past 200,000 miles on nothing but oil changes and filters. Some have gone beyond 300,000 before the block ever needs attention, and that is not an internet myth. That is documented across thousands of owner reports and Jeep forums going back decades. Now add the Rubicon trim to that equation. Factory locking differentials, a disconnecting front sway bar, Dana 44 axles front and rear. That is off-road hardware that most people bolt on aftermarket and spend thousands doing it. The 2004 came with all of it straight from the factory. Car complaints data shows just 20 total complaints for this entire model year, and for a truck this old, that number is wild. Every mechanic in the country knows how to work on a 4.0. Parts cost next to nothing compared to modern Pentastar jobs. You do not need a dealer, you do not need specialized tools, and you do not need to remortgage your house over a repair bill. If you want real trail capability without electronic headaches, this truck delivers it. But the one ranked above it has something the 2004 cannot touch, and the data backs that up completely. Best. Number 6. 2003 Jeep Wrangler. You want to know what the cleanest complaint record in modern Wrangler history amounts to? 8 complaints. That is it. Car Complaints has 8 total complaints on file for the 2003 Jeep Wrangler. The 2008 logged 398. 2012 logged 211. The 2003 sits at 8, and no other modern Wrangler year comes close to that number. This is the year Jeep launched the Rubicon trim for the first time, and that alone would make it worth talking about. But the real story is what 6 years of production maturity did to the TJ platform by this point. Every early kink from the 1997 launch had been sorted. Suspension geometry, wiring harnesses, drivetrain components, all of it refined through 6 years of real-world feedback from owners beating these trucks on trails and driving them to work every morning. Consumer ratings back that up with a 4.6 overall and a 4.8 for reliability from verified owner surveys. Those are numbers that beat Wranglers from every generation, and they beat a lot of trucks outside the Jeep brand entirely. You get the same bulletproof 4.0-liter inline 6, paired with either a 5-speed manual or a 4-speed automatic. Water intrusion around the windshield and door seals is the most common gripe owners report, and that is a cheap afternoon fix at any shop. If you want a Wrangler that will take you anywhere and bring you home every time without making you worry about what might break next, the 2003 TJ does exactly that. If this kind of honest information is saving you money, go ahead and hit that like button. It helps more people find this before they buy the wrong year. Now, everything from this point forward jumps to the JK generation, and the gap in technology and comfort from the TJ is massive. But so is the gap in what can go wrong if you pick the wrong year. The 2007 through 2011 JK Wranglers carried the underpowered 3.8-liter V6, suffered from TIPM electrical failures, and earned the Wrangler its dreaded death wobble reputation. The years we are about to cover avoided all of that. Best. Number 5. 2014 Jeep Wrangler. Most people looking at JK Wranglers gravitate toward the newest ones they can afford, and that instinct actually works against you with this generation. The 2014 is the final year before Jeep moved to the aluminum body JL platform, and that is exactly why it deserves your attention. Think about what that means. Every cylinder head issue from the early 2012 and 2013 Pentastar engines had been addressed by this point. The oil cooler cracking problem that hit a small batch of 2014 models got a factory fix. You are buying a truck that carries every lesson Jeep learned across the entire JK production run baked into the build. And when you are the one paying for repairs, that kind of maturity saves you real money over the life of the vehicle. The 3.6-liter Pentastar V6 delivers 285 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque, and by 2014, that engine had 2 full years of real-world refinement behind it. Owners and fleet operators report trucks pushing well past 150,000 miles on the original engine without needing major internal work. Build quality improved over the earlier JK years. Electrical systems performed more consistently than the 2007 through 2011 models that gave so many buyers grief. RepairPal tracks 13 known problem categories for the 2014, which drops below the 2012 at 14 and the 2013 at 16. Those numbers tell you the platform was getting better every single year. This is the last steel-body Wrangler Jeep ever made. Modern features, a proven drivetrain, and none of the early production headaches that came with the JL redesign the following year. A genuine sweet spot for buyers who want JK reliability without paying JL prices. But the year that ranks above it took every one of those improvements and pushed them even further. Picking the right year is only the start. Most Wranglers fail from bad maintenance, not bad design. That's exactly what I break down in my Jeep Longevity Blueprint. You can find the link in the description below. Number 4. 2016 Jeep Wrangler. Here is a year that gets overlooked constantly, and the data says that is a mistake buyers should stop making. By 2016, the 3.6-liter Pentastar had been inside the Wrangler for 4 full production years. Every first and second year engine problem was ancient history. The cylinder head casting issues from early 2012 and 2013 builds were completely behind Jeep at this point. Oil filter housing leaks, the one complaint that follows every JK around, showed up less often in 2016 than in any prior year. Car Complaints logs 57 total complaints for 2016. Compare that to 211 for 2012 and 158 for 2013, and you see a clear downward trend that tells the whole story. RepairPal lists just 10 known problem categories, compared to 14 for 2012 and 16 for 2013. Those are not opinions. Those are patterns pulled from thousands of vehicles across independent repair shops nationwide. The 5-speed automatic shifts clean. 4-wheel drive engages without fighting you. Rubicon trim still gives you factory lockers, electronic sway bar disconnect, and rock rails built to absorb punishment on the trail. Sport and Sahara trims give you a comfortable daily driver without destroying your budget. NHTSA records show 5 recalls for the 2016, and not a single one touches the engine or transmission. When your biggest recall headaches are airbag sensor wiring and Takata inflator swaps that the dealer handles for free, you are in good shape. If you are finding this helpful, hit that subscribe button so you do not miss the next video. We break down which vehicles are actually worth your money every single week. Now, the next entry jumps to a completely different generation, and it is the one that separates the old-school Wrangler crowd from the new. Number 3. 2019 Jeep Wrangler. The 2018 JL Wrangler was supposed to be the future. Brand new platform, modern tech, better comfort, the whole package. And then it launched with bad welds on certain frames, clutch failures on manual models, an infotainment system that rebooted while you were driving, and steering play that made highway speed feel sketchy. Buyers who jumped on the 2018 in that first year paid the price for being early. By 2019, Jeep had cleaned up the mess. And the difference between those 2 model years is not subtle, it is night and day. Car Complaints tracks just 37 total complaints for the 2019, down from 55 for the 2018. J.D. Power gave the JL generation a peak quality score of 86 out of 100, a real jump over the JK's best of 78. That improvement came from tighter assembly, better wiring, and a powertrain that finally felt sorted in its second production year. If you bought a 2018 and dealt with those launch problems, the 2019 is the truck Jeep should have given you the first time around. The 3.6-liter Pentastar V6 carries over and remains the engine you want. Jeep mechanics consistently warn buyers away from the 2.0-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, which has documented overheating and head gasket problems when pushed hard off-road. Stick with the V6 and the 8-speed automatic, and you get a combination proven across hundreds of thousands of trucks. Blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic warning come standard, features the JK never offered at any price. If you want a modern Wrangler with current safety tech and a powertrain that has earned its stripes across real miles and real trails, the 2019 JL with the V6 is a smart buy. But the next two entries are where the JK generation truly earned its reputation, and the data behind them is hard to argue with. Number 2. 2015 Jeep Wrangler. The 2015 holds the highest reliability rating of any JK model year Jeep ever produced, and that is not one source saying it. Multiple independent outlets all arrived at the same conclusion. J.D. Power scored this year at 78 out of 100 for quality and reliability, and that number stood as the best Wrangler rating for over 5 years until the 2021 model arrived. Think about what that means for a vehicle designed to have its doors ripped off, its roof removed, and its interior hosed out after a weekend on the trails. Scoring that high while being that exposed to the elements tells you Jeep got the engineering right in 2015. NHTSA backs that up with only 3 recalls on record. 3. The 2012 logged 12 recalls. The 2011 logged 13. The 2015 sits at 3, and those are the fewest of any JK year ever built. None of those recalls touch the engine, transmission, or drivetrain, which means the 3 most expensive systems on any used vehicle all checked out clean for this model year. The Pentastar V6 had 3 full years of refinement by this point, and the early cylinder head issues were fully resolved. Owner reports describe engines cruising past 186,000 miles on basic maintenance with no major work needed. Interior quality hit its peak for the entire JK generation right here. Seats, dashboard materials, sound insulation, all of it improved over earlier models. The electrical system, which tormented JK owners from 2007 through 2012, finally settled down in 2015 and behaved itself more consistently than any year before it. Find a clean 2015 with documented service history and no signs of heavy trail abuse, and you are looking at one of the best used Wrangler values on the market right now. But the number 1 spot goes to a year that took everything the 2015 proved and pushed it one step further. Best number 1. 2017 Jeep Wrangler. The best Jeep Wrangler year you can own right now is the 2017 JK, and the reasons go far beyond it being the last year of production. Car Complaints tracks just 52 total complaints for 2017. That is down from 57 for 2016, 108 for 2015, and 211 for the troubled 2012. RepairPal lists only 7 known problem categories for this model year, which is the lowest of any JK on record. When a generation runs for more than a decade and the very last year produces the fewest problems, that is not a coincidence. That is what 10 years of fixing mistakes and tightening tolerances produces when it finally shows up in the data. Every system in this truck had been refined through 10 production years. The Pentastar V6 was in its 5th year inside the Wrangler, and the early casting issues and oil cooler leaks were long gone. Owners report engines running past 200,000 miles on basic maintenance without needing anything beyond belts, plugs, and fluids. The 5-speed automatic shifts predictably and handles towing and trail stress without the issues that plagued earlier years. Electrical failures, which haunted the early JK era from 2007 through 2011, reached their lowest recorded rate in 2017. TIPM problems that caused so much grief in the first half of the generation dropped off hard. Oil filter housing leaks and O2 sensor issues still pop up, but at rates well below any prior JK year. Resale value on the 2017 holds stronger than nearly any other used Wrangler available right now. Buyers and dealers both know the last JK carries the most sorted version of that platform, and they price it that way. A well-maintained 2017 Rubicon or Sahara will cost more up front on the used lot, but you earn every dollar of that back in lower repair bills and higher dependability over the life of the truck. NHTSA records show 5 recalls, and not one targets the engine or transmission. That is the kind of clean track record that gives you real confidence in a used purchase. This is the truck that represents everything Jeep learned over a full decade of building the same platform. Proven powertrain, lowest complaint rate of any JK year, and a truck that every mechanic in the country knows how to work on. Now you know which Wrangler years are actually worth your money. If you want yours to last even longer, My Jeep longevity blueprint is down below. Hit subscribe for more no BS Jeep advice, and let me know, what year Wrangler do you trust the most? See you next time.